human rights lawyer, Justice Uhuegbu, is here in the studio to talk more on this. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
It is my pleasure once more.
Now, for over a decade, we have been tackling issues of insecurity. And one thing that is on the minds of many Nigerians is the rejigging of the security architecture anytime we have issues like this. Would you say that our security architecture has failed over time?
Well, as a Nigerian, I believe we all live in this country and we know what is going on and what we're going through. I think is a capital yes. It has failed woefully.
Why you think so?
Yes, because you can't continue doing the same thing the same way every year and without getting results.
Despite the changes that have been made?
Has there been any changes?
Different people go, different people coming?
There's always been this, especially, okay, let me concern myself to this present administration. You will discover that since the inception of this administration, there have been calls on change the service chiefs. But still, the presidency has given deaf ears to this. Is it that the president or the presidency is bigger than the nation? You can't continue doing the same thing when you have a team that is not doing well. What do you do?
But do you think that really is the problem? That is where the problem lies.
It is one of the major problems, not as if it is the entire problem, but at least it's one of the major problems. When you have a captain that cannot command respect and move the aura of his followers, how do you expect that team to do well? That's what we are trying to say here. There are so many other things you consider about security. You consider about the tactics. I'm not even expecting the security apparatus to come out openly to the public domain to be telling people their strategy.
But if the president has that concern, he is the commander-in-chief, he would have changed it, but probably the concern hasn't come up.
Fine. If he has that concern, which means it doesn't concern him. After all, the president goes with entourage of policemen, military men, and all the rest. He doesn't care what happens to the masses outside there.
You think that's what the issue is?
That's what I know. It's not what I think. Let me tell you one thing. As a father in a family, and your children are crying every day, and you don't want to do anything about it, there's no day you wake up in this country without one security problem or the other. People are being killed and slaughtered like fowls and chickens in this country. It has never been this bad before in the history of Nigeria. Look at it very well. Let's look at it. Check it. Now, okay, you saw the interview by the spokesperson who boldly said, telling Nigerians on air that the issue of service chiefs sacking them or resigning was not mentioned. Which means you can talk from today to tomorrow, it doesn't concern them. But now, I'm blaming the National Assembly.
Now, but that's where I'm headed now, that they are now calling for the sack of these people.
You don't need to call for their sack.
What can they do?
You don't need to call for their sack. The National Assembly, they are representing Nigerians. They are representing us. Both are the red chambers and the green chambers. Pass a vote of no confidence on them and let them have the leeway. They were confirmed by you. You can't just be talking as if you're romancing the president.
What would the vote of confidence do? The president was the one who appointed them.
Yes.
So
who confirmed them?
The Senate confirmed
Fine.
them. So what will he do? How will he change the mind of the presidency to change them?
At least to a great extent, it will make the president know that they are serious. It's not only talking.
So invariably, you're saying the Senate is not serious with even this cry?
Because the call has always been recurrent. And nothing has been done. It's not just coming to say we want the president.
But they should know better that they can pass a vote of no confidence. So why are they not looking that direction?
Because politics has entered. We play politics with everything in this country. Remember, these same senators we are talking about and legislators, they all go with security personnel. Me and you don't.
Does it matter?
It matters. It matters because if they are being affected, directly or indirectly. See, Ojukwu wrote a book because I'm involved. I don't think they are involved here. Because if you're involved, you will know how it pains to lose a loved one on the cold blood, an innocent person, just like that. So it's not a matter of calling, take actions. And if you feel that the president doesn't want to listen or take action, please start impeachment process. He will work up against the president.
All right.
Because rely on the constitution. The 1999 constitution has amended today.
A senator has said that.
That way I'm coming. That is Abaribe. The constitution simplicity provides that the main aim of government is for the welfare and security of the citizens.
Justice Uhuegbu, let's leave the discussion at this point for now. Thank you for speaking with us. The human rights lawyer, Justice Uhuegbu, is here in the studio to talk to us about this. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
All right. The National Assembly may be calling for the sack or resignation of the service chiefs. But from the meeting yesterday, we see that nothing was said about that. For them, that doesn't seem to be the major issue. Does this say anything about our sincerity towards tackling these issues of insecurity?
I see impunity play here. Impunity in the sense that when people are given a responsibility, they feel nothing can happen. After all, it is our office. We are there, whether good or bad. Because it's so painful and shameful for the spokesperson to say that even the issue of resignation or sack of the security chiefs were not discussed at the security meeting. Then what were people discussing?
Talking about strategies.
They'll be talking security chiefs to talk about their sack.
They've been talking since. Now, if you remember, he said that the security chiefs were briefing the president. They have been briefing the president for a long time, for Christ's sake. Does it mean that the president is not getting the filler from the masses? There are questions to ask here. Is the president not a Nigerian?
Of course he is.
Fine. Does it mean he's not feeling the impact of what Nigerians are feeling?
Because some days ago, I think 2-3 days ago, the newspaper headlines carried that the president is surprised or shocked at the level of insecurity in the country. So one would have expected that would have been addressed.
Why would he be surprised? Is he not a Nigerian? Doesn't he read newspapers? Or he doesn't have relatives? He doesn't have people that can call him, can talk to him? Does it really, surrounds only you and your security chiefs or advisors?
For them, at the meeting, the issue of insecurity is multi-dimensional, and so collaboration between security officials and the people is what is key, and not the SAC.
You cannot even talk about security leaving the people out of it. It's not possible. How do you get intelligence reports in the first place? Is it not from the people? Before you walk or before you strike? You see, enough of all this issue of advisors, securities, ministers, and all the rest. You are involved also. You are a Nigerian.
Okay. In all of this now, what will, if he sacks the security chief or he reviews the appointment, whatever, what will he do? How will he change the framework?
Let us get another team playing.
But we had several teams over past administrations.
We're not talking about past administration. Okay, now
coming from past administration down to this point.
Since you have mentioned past administration, let me say this holistically. The past administration, it has never been this bad. If you remember, during Jonathan's administration, a lot of things were put in place. In fact, if not for the proactiveness of that administration, the 2015 election wouldn't have been held. The president then had to even take it upon himself to go and source for arms or ammunitions through the black market, which they were blackmailed about money laundering and all the rest. For example, look at is it Tucana jet fighter you're talking about? If you order, it might take about 4 to 5 years for it to come. And that was why, in the wisdom of the former administration, they went to South Africa, they went to one other country to buy the black market and all the rest. The military, the police, they need to be equipped constantly. Enough of all this buha halala that they are doing. They are just playing politics.
All right.
If you really want to be proactive, You should work with the minds of the people. Forget about these service chiefs. It is not helping matters.
Perhaps
we are not saying that it is.
Perhaps that is why they're calling for community policing. But then let's leave it here now, Justice Uhuegbu, because I know you have a whole lot to say. The conversation definitely continues. Thank you for speaking with us.
Lawyer Justice Uhuegbu is here in the studio with us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you once more.
All right, so there has been calls for a review of the security apparatus in the country. How will this review change things? We've had reviews over past administrations. Changes have been made up till this period. Has anything changed?
Well, if you look at, if we're coming from the past administration, you will agree with me. Well, let me say that there has actually been improvement. But I'm focusing my discussion to the present administration. This is barely 5 years now that we've been having serious insecurity problems in this administration. Remember that part of the problems were there in 2015 before this administration came in. And one of the promise was that they were going to tackle insecurity. But we're not, Nigerians are not saying anything. But you see, aside from that, let's be realistic to ourselves. We can't keep on doing the same thing every time, like I said before. And I have to say this, we must be proactive. Let me quote Lord Denny in one of his cases. In the case of Parker versus Parker, Lord Denny said something. He's an obiter dictum in that judgment. He said that until we start doing what we have not done before, we will remain standstill while the rest of the world moves on.
Be?
Fine. That thing is the issue of, one, changing the security apparatus.
We've been doing that before.
No, I said
You're saying now, okay,
I said I'm
so
focusing
now,
my argument and my view based on the current administration that has lasted almost 5 good years without any result.
Okay.
And that is one. Okay. 2, this issue of security chiefs or no security chiefs, as far as I'm concerned, they are long overdue. Because you see, security, while you are planning, the other people, they are also planning.
Definitely.
You understand the thing? So you must come up with fresh ideas in order to be able, just like in the courts, when 2 lawyers are arguing, everybody is making a point in order to impress the judge. So they are the insurgents there, they are also doing something. Let's say the Boko Haram and the bandits. If you remember, what has happened in 2015, the strategies have changed.
Definitely.
I mean by the Boko Haram sect.
Obviously.
Then why can't we change our own strategy?
That is why you're trying to give us what to do.
Because the government has refused to hear.
They might be watching you now, so you might just want to itemize it.
Since 2016.
It takes a day to change something.
Since 2016, we've been talking. How can you change it? Though we'll be talking. Look at, I am also challenging the man there who said that the issue of resignation was never discussed. And as far as I'm concerned, personally, I believe that what we need now is for all the security chiefs to show the back door.
And after they have shown the back door, what else should the government focus on?
Let the new people come. Once the new people come, they will now be confronted with the challenges that is on ground. Secondly, the issue of arms and ammunitions. Please go back to drawing board and try to find out how where your predecessors try to achieve a little result. I didn't say they achieved much, but at least they achieved something. Look at it and leverage on that to see what you can do. Government is a continuum. You can't just because it is your government, you don't want to borrow a leaf from what has happened before. No, it doesn't work that way. You must go back to drawing board and look at it. How did this thing happen? How did this? How did that? For example, let me also use this coronavirus that is spreading now as an example. If you remember, the last administration of Jonathan fought Ebola to a standstill. Certain things were done. People were put in place to do those things. I also expect this government to borrow a leaf from there, go back to drawing board. How were these people able to achieve this thing?
All right.
Thank you very much, Justice. We have to leave it there at this point. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.